Hi guys, I'm going to do some work here with some patterns. You can see that I've got a sheet of paper here. It's not really a standard size, and I made 2-inch squares. So just did something like that. Marked them off, did them both ways, like that. And then I've got this piece, and this is a 4-inch by 4-inch piece. And I've made some fairly random shapes on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out. And then I'm going to use these to create some repetition here in this pattern. And I can do this a lot of different ways, and what I want you to do is just kind of experiment with the patterns and repetition. So I don't really know exactly how this is going to turn out, although I do have an example I could show you. I'll do that in just a second. Okay, there's one. I wasn't thinking too much about what these shapes were. I just put them in here. But as you're building your cards for Project 5, you might think more carefully about how these patterns on the back could echo the work of your artist that you're choosing to work with. I'll just do some of this and then I'll show you that example and let you give this thing a try yourself. All right, here we go. So you could start anywhere, really. And like I said, there's a lot of different ways to do this. Maybe I kind of like this shape that's happening here. And, you know, actually, what am I gonna do? Just start a pattern here. So I did one, I skipped one. Maybe I'll do one here. Now, one thing that I did when I made my little pattern here was that I maintained corners. I didn't chop off any corners. You could probably do it and chop off corners, but I like to have that corner there so that I can line up and know that it's in the same spot as last time. Little flames or something, I don't know. I could really do the whole thing just with this one thing. You can take this a lot of different ways. Or you can do other things, like maybe I flip it over now and do a few that way. And I haven't even done anything with my other shapes yet, so there's lots and lots that can happen here. The most important thing, see, I like how that kind of... the most important thing is that you have repetition, that you have the same shapes happening over and over again, and this is a great way to create unity. Unity and repetition are closely combined. Yeah, I like this so far. So far, so good. So, then maybe I go this way. So you just kind of figure it out as you go. You can skip 2 instead of skipping 1, or any number of ways you can do it. And then, as you'll see in my example in a second here, I also like to fill in some of these areas with black, and sometimes I fill in different areas for different parts of the pattern thing here. And I'm feeling like doing it on the whole board here for this one, but you don't have to. In fact, maybe not all of your shapes do repeat. Maybe you have one or two shapes that actually are just by themselves, but then the background repeats, or the decorative border repeats, or something like that. Making art, sometimes there's so many decisions to make that sometimes a pattern is a nice thing because it kind of tells you what the next step is. Okay, that way, that way, that way. So that one, this one would go this way. And so, I liked this little shape when I drew it, but this is a lot more of an effect here. If I was to do it again, I might choose a little bit thicker. If you've got some like thin cardboard or something, that might be a better choice for your pattern. Hold your pencil a little bit better. Up. Here. And if you're computer savvy, that's probably a good way to do these too. But I want you to experiment with this. This I think will lead you to some different conclusions than just doing it on the computer. Okay, blick. Yeah, that's something. All right, and then let's see what happens if I start doing something else here. Like what? Maybe. Gotta think here. Gotta think. How about this? Yeah, that's looking cool. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use this side now. One of them there. Maybe. Let's see, where's the rest of that? So now I've kind of made a new shape out of those two. And that's cool. So then what if I did one of those over here? And then how about if I flip it? Flip it over. And then I'd flip it over this way down here. What will it do? How did I do it this way? So then what if I go like that? Flip it head over heels. I don't know if this was a good move or not. I don't always know. But I try it. I try things and I'm not afraid to try things. Not afraid to fail. If I have to. All right. Well, this is a decent start. Let me show you my other where I went before with this thing. And I had different shapes, but you can see kind of where I can end up with all this. This one actually really turned out a little bit better. I like this. I like this one a little bit more. But it also, you know, we generally like things that have more contrast and more black and things. So, so it's a start, and you know, I could go lots of different directions with it, and get in here and color parts, and go further with it. But I bet you could come up with something even cooler. So make yourself a little pattern. Use it lots of different ways. Your pattern doesn't have to be 4 inches by 4 inches too. It could be 6 inches by 4 inches, and that could give you a different kind of feel. You could do different size squares to start with and get kind of a different thing happening. You could cut things out of this, like holes and things, and have those happening in there. You could add to the pattern with other stuff, you know. I like my favorite number 75, so I could like make 75s in these empty squares, for example. You know, lots of different things. And so the repetition is able to take these things that, I mean, they were random. This was random. I didn't think about this too much. But as it starts to come together, it starts to look unified. It has an overall look that looks like everything belongs and that everything is purposeful. So hopefully that helps you. Good luck.